Ladies and gentlemen, making his way to the mic, 6'4", from Tel Aviv, representing Stereo Society, Homega, Nano Records, and Iboga, it's Freedom Fighters. Pew, 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 pew.
Pew, pew.
It is a gloomy afternoon here in St Kilda East. We are coming off the back of Afterdigm. Welcome to the show, Mr. Fighters. Shahaf?
Yeah, Shahaf. Yeah.
Shahaf?
Yeah.
Sorry, I try to pronounce it.
No, it's okay. Don't worry. Nobody knows how to pronounce it anyway. I'm used to it.
Thank you very much for being here, sir.
Thank you for having me.
It was awesome to see you perform last weekend at Afterdigm Festival at Flemington Racecourse. First of all, 3 quick questions. When's your birthday?
23 of July.
Okay, you have to think of 20. Birthplace?
Israel, which is Beersheba, definitely. The south of Israel.
Yep. And what's your favourite country to play in?
Ooh, Australia, easy.
There we go. We've buttered him up very nicely. First of all, is this a test or just a series of questions?
Oh.
Are we actually experiencing an encounter?
You'll tell me.
Let's get that one out of the way. All right. Thank you very much, mate. It's great to have you here. At Afterdigm on the weekend, you graced the stage more than once. Can you explain a bit what happened there and the experience itself?
Oh, yeah. So one of my really good friends, Asterix, had to be rushed into the hospital for a very good reason, actually, because his wife gave birth to a second son.
Yes.
Which is amazing.
Yep. Do you know what they named him?
No, not yet. I haven't asked him,
Yep.
but I had the time to obviously congratulate him.
Fantastic.
So he couldn't make it, unfortunately, which everybody understood, obviously.
Yep. And he's also one half of Alpha Portal.
Yeah,
with Ace
definitely. So I had to fill in for him for his main set, for Asterix's set, which was very big honor.
Yeah.
So, it was an amazing experience as always. Melbourne is always a place that feels like home. It's always good to be here. I've been playing here for the last practically 7 years already. This will be the 7th year.
Yep.
So, it was a great experience. As always, we had like a bunch of rain, which was very unexpected.
Yes.
But,
Yep.
good experience.
Well, we have seen you play at Afterdigm, I think, twice now, Electric Parade, Rainbow Serpent Festival. So we've been very lucky for you to come and take us on some wild journeys with our feet and into our brains, I suppose. But with a set such as Afterdigm and I guess playing the second one a bit last minute, how much preparation do you put into the set itself? Do you know just the first 2 or 3 songs you might want to play, or are you just feeling the energy of the crowd?
That's a good question, actually. Well, to be honest, I usually, before like big sets, before big parties that I feel that I have to prepare myself, I usually sit down and I write a playlist of like ideas.
Yeah, sure.
But it can all change with in a heartbeat, because it depends how the crowd looks and how the energy is in the party. So basically I have an idea of what I want to play, but usually like 99% of the time I change it on spot. But I just like to have a beginning and an end, like ideas, and then I just go with the flow
so
in
bookends
between.
It nicely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we saw one of your interviews with Future Phonic and also Psy Nation, where you discussed, I guess, telling the story with your set and not wanting to just go for cheap drops and just crowd pleasing sort of stuff. You want to kind of be, what's the word, I guess, very deliberate with your style.
Definitely.
And disciplined, I guess. How have you managed to maintain that, I guess, having that mindset into your sets?
Actually, it's a good question, because lately I wanted to drop the whole cheap, like I don't want to say cheap or stuff like that, because it's someone else's art, and like I feel like people want to do their thing, so it's all good as long as it's coming from the right place, from like a deep connection to music and to art. Then you might as well do whatever you want. I just feel like I want to tell a story, and I want to start. Usually, I want to start with something really low and like techno oriented in a way, and then go up to a place. I don't know, like the remix Domestic Pixel and I did for like Union Jack. I want it to be full on towards the end, but I don't want it to be too cheesy for my taste. So usually, I try to take people from a journey of like, I don't know, in my set it's like 134 BPM, more of a techno oriented kind of dark place at first, and it finishes up around like 142.
Yeah.
But for that I need more than 1 hour. So to be honest, and I've never said that before in an interview, I'm like very lost when I get 1 hour slots, because I
by
don't.
the time you get into it,
Yeah,
it's all over.
it takes me 45 minutes or like at least 40 minutes to get into the groove, because at first I'm like, I don't even like lift my head from the mixer because I'm like into it and I'm trying to like get myself in a way. So it takes me time. So usually I like to have slots of like 1.5 or like 2 hours minimum.
What is your ideal length?
2 hours probably, which I will do this Friday in the Afterdigm 2.0. So I'll be playing. I have time to express myself. It's very hard for me as a musician. It's very hard to express myself as a musician in only 1 hour, because my music, I want it to have like a slow development, and I don't want it to be like all booms and drops, because I can do that. I've been doing it for years, but I feel that I'm in a different place as a person and in a different place as an artist. So I want to like more, tell a story gradually.
Do you have a formula? Like, do you think in your head, I want to make sure I include one older track or a certain amount of newer released tunes, or feature something on someone else's or something, anything like that, or I guess even a theme itself? Like, what are other themes that you consider then, I suppose?
As I said, I don't care if it's someone else's music or my music, to be honest. It turns out that I play around 90% of the set original stuff, but I tend to play music from other people, like, I don't know, Perfect Stranger or Captain Hook, which I love the stuff that he's been doing in the last couple of years, and stuff like that. So I usually I start somewhere really dark and like, closed and very techno-ish, and I want to go to a place which is more enlightened and like light. So I have to tell that story, and it doesn't matter if it's my music or someone else's music, as long as I can get the message.
Yeah, sure. Perfect Stranger's latest album 11 and also Origin by Captain Hook are both unbelievable.
Amazing.
Do you have favourite tracks from either, or you like to play?
Yeah, I played it for I played it for 2 years already. I played Captain Hook's remix of Six Feet Under, which is definitely one of my favorites. Yeah, I love it. Yeah. And on Captain Hook's album, the ever-present Silent Observer with Tetramet is definitely my favorite track. I play it quite often. Time and Space is also amazing. He has really good music. I mean, I think I told him that last time. Like, I told him that a couple of days ago, that he's the definition of a true artist for me, because he goes with what he believes all the way. Like if he's doing dubstep with trance, then he goes all the way with that, and if he's doing something more deep and like clean and minimal, then he goes all the way, and you can see it like on the way he dresses, on the way he speaks, on the everything. It's just like he's an artist 100%. So I'm like, I take a lot of I don't know, he's a big influence. He's a good friend and a big influence for many, many years.
Well, he's a true artist. It takes one to know one, so maybe that's why you can spot it. Like, I've seen him, much like yourself, play multiple gigs in a weekend at different venues, and it's interesting to see how he adapts to those different venues and can cater to all the different crowds, whether it be more trancey or more of a psychedelic set. It's pretty cool to see. Yeah. To switch gears a bit, I guess, more about you and your ability to storytell. We'll start off with the name, I guess. Shahaf. When I look it up, tell me if I'm wrong, but in the Hebrew it says it means seagull.
Yeah, it's right? Seagull. Yep. Yeah, that bird does its shit. Yeah, that's the one.
I like chips. I guess tell us a bit more though about what's behind the name Freedom Fighters and how you came up with that. Because was there originally 2 Freedom Fighters? Yeah. Frederico, was it?
Yeah, so that's true. Actually, the name Freedom Fighters came from a compilation by Paul Taylor on Crystal Matrix back in 2005, which I really liked, that had really good tracks on it. And I was 15. I didn't know that this was going to be my life, basically. So it was just like, Freedom Fighters sounds like a good name. And then throughout the years, I managed to connect that to like my name, because Shahaf, which is seagull, means a bird, and a bird means freedom, and you can't cage a bird. So like Freedom Fighters kind of, like it's like a circle that felt complete. And regarding my ex-partner, Fred, his name was, we started working together in 2006, I reckon. Okay. we made like 3 or 4 tracks, and then we split basically, because I felt like I want to take the project somewhere else. I felt like I wanted to do something more minimal, less melodic, because back in the day we did some really, I don't know, how should I describe it, more of a full-on generation of like back in 07 with like a bunch of melodies and transposes and shit, which at some point I felt like it wasn't for me, because I feel like there's this thing about the trance scene that every time something works well, there is this ray of like pop that just like goes into it and demolishes it for me.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So nowadays it's like the songs and all that, it's like when people incorporate pop in like psytrance culture, I mean, it's all good. I really respect the art. It's just less my cup of tea. And same thing happened back then with the Full On, when we started seeing a lot of like remixes of like famous songs and stuff. And I felt like I needed to take a step back and go back to the roots and do something more deep and less cheesy, I would say. But it's cheesy for me, you know what I mean? Like, as I said, I respect everybody else's art. It's just like I wasn't feeling at home.
Yeah, sure.
So back then it was the beginning of my new project, and Captain Hook just started this new project, and we made Marshmallows back then, which was like, I don't know, 8-9 years ago. And then it was the beginning. That was the true beginning of Freedom Fighters for me.